guys, I'm here to do our biscuit breakfast ring video. I wanted to do this so that you can watch this as many times as you need so that you can get successful with doing this recipe. So today, this biscuit breakfast ring we're going to make in the microwave. Your microwave can actually bake things for you, but there are some different rules to the baking when you do use the microwave instead of the oven. So our recipe today is going to call for a can of refrigerated biscuits, some brown sugar, margarine, a little bit of water, and I'm going to show you how to top it with some chopped walnuts as well. We are going to be using the tools that I have here on the table. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've already cleaned and sanitized my countertops. I'm going to wash my hands. And remembering that we always want to wash for a good 20 seconds. So make sure that I get nice and cleaned up. Your microwave is going to bake these biscuits, but they won't get any natural color from baking like they do in the oven. When you make refrigerator biscuits at home, they get a nice, beautiful golden color, and they look baked and fabulous. In the microwave, they're just going to stay white, and that's very normal for this recipe because the microwave doesn't promote any sort of browning. So, what I want to do is get this ready. I will need a cutting board. I'm going to use my white cutting board, and what I'll do is get my brown sugar ready. So I'm going to grab some water in this custard cup. I'll show you how I'll do this. And I'm going to melt my butter. The first thing I need to do is put my sugar, margarine, and water in a glass measuring cup. So my brown sugar is 1/3 of a cup. I'm going to measure that with it leveled off, packed in. Let me grab a straight edge spatula so that I can make sure it's leveled off. I'm going to put that in my glass measuring cup. Then I'm going to put my margarine. I need 3 tablespoons of margarine, and I measure that on the label. Cut that margarine and put it in there, and I also need a tablespoon of water. So that's where I have the water in this custard cup. Just for ease, I'm going to do that. I can dump the rest out. I'll be using that later. Now in the microwave, whenever you have sugar, water, and a fat, it will splatter. So we want to make sure we put a paper towel over top before we microwave it. Our recipe says to microwave it for 1 minute so that it melts. Okay, that's going to make a caramel sauce that we'll be using with the biscuits. So in our microwave, what we need is a round plate. And with your microwave is always going to cook from the outside in, so the middle cooks last. Well, the middle is going to be hard to get to bake in this, so we're actually going to put an upside down custard cup so that this makes a ring with our biscuit dough. So this is what I'm going to put together for me to use in the microwave as a pan. Now I'm going to open up my walnuts, and just for an example, it's going to tell you that you can use about a 1/2 cup of walnuts. I'm just going to do a few as an example. This is optional. You don't have to put any sort of a topping like this on there. But if you do this, you want to use your chef knife. You pinch it with your fingers here, wrap your other 3 fingers around, and then you'll put the tip on the board and give this a rocking motion and keep repiling the walnuts, doing this to chop. Okay, once I have those walnuts chopped, I'm going to go ahead and put them in my pie plate so that they just are spread around this whole way. Okay? You'll want to check with your group members if anyone has an allergy. That could be problematic. My microwave did heat. And this is what my sauce looks like coming out of the microwave. It has that caramely color. This is what's going to give our biscuits some pretty color when we bake them in the microwave. So now for my can of biscuits, I'm going to open this up. And you have to peel the label off and press on it until it bursts so that you can get get the biscuit dough out. All of this can go in the garbage. Each biscuit, you're going to cut it into 4 pieces. So you'll make all of these little biscuit nuggets. These are all going to make it so that this is easy to pull apart when you serve it. You basically eat this little recipe by pulling the little pieces apart, and they all have that yummy caramely goodness on them, and they're really delicious. This is something that is easy to make very fast in the microwave. I actually usually make this on the holidays, like on Christmas morning, when we just want something nice and sweet to have as a treat. You could make this as like an after dinner dessert. But what you'll do with all the pieces that you just cut up evenly, you just have to space them as evenly as you can, okay? It's not going to be totally perfect, and that's okay. They are going to grow in the microwave, so they will fill in the spaces and all grow together. So what we'll do is put these in. And now that's where we've got our pieces all the way around. Then I'll take my caramel sauce and drizzle this all over top. That's going to give it a great color. Now my directions tell me that what I'm going to do is put this in the microwave for 2.5 to 3 minutes. These biscuits are pretty big. I'm going to go ahead and start with that 3 minutes. So I'll pop this in the microwave in the middle. This microwave is a little touchy with its door, and we'll let that cook for 3 minutes. I'll tell you how to check if it's done. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and start cleaning some of my dishes. This, it's definitely going to be that the biscuits have grown, and you have to tap them and see if they feel raw. If they still feel raw, you can still add a couple minutes, like you could do like a 1 minute, check it again. They are not going to look golden brown, remember? So we just want to make sure that they don't have that raw, doughy feeling in them. So I am going to put this in for 1 more minute. And while that's going, I'll talk to you about serving. You will need a large glass plate, because what we're going to do is actually flip this pie plate over onto the glass plate, and the bottom becomes the top, and it looks amazing with all this like great drippy caramel sauce on top, and then the nut toppings on there. I will need to use oven mitts because that glass pie plate is going to be very hot. Even though the microwave has no fire, it creates a lot of heat, and your glass dishes in there are very hot when you go in to grab them. So you want to make sure that you're using hot pads. I also have a pair of tongs. I'll need that to get the custard cup out of the middle, and then I'll also use it to serve. So I'll actually plate 1 serving here on this small plate. So you'll get to see that. Then I'll have those dishes to wash, and it's all done. The thing about microwaving these biscuits is that you do need to serve this dessert or this treat immediately. If you try to bake this in the microwave in the morning, and then you are like, oh, well then I'll just serve it later after school for after dinner, it's not really worth doing that. The reactions of what happens in the baking process in the microwave, the final product needs to be served immediately. If you let it sit, it just doesn't hold up as well as when you bake stuff in the oven. Kind of gets a tougher texture as it sits, and it just doesn't have that desired baked effect. So if you've ever done like one of those chocolate cakes in a mug, or if you've ever done one of those kind of mixes where it bakes in the microwave, you probably know like you just eat it warm. So that's why you would make this right before you're going to serve it. Okay, so I'm going to give these a tap. They definitely feel a little more done. So I'm going to use my oven mitts. And this is what it looks like when it comes out of the microwave. So what I did is kind of tap these and see if they bounce back. If my finger sunk in there and it made like a big indent in the raw dough, I would know it wasn't done yet. So what I want to do is take my glass plate and put it over top, put my oven mitts back on, and this is where you have to be pretty confident and just move quickly. You want to grab it and flip it fast because you don't want any of that brown sugar caramel sauce that you made to leak out the sides. Then I'm going to use my tongs to help me lift the pie plate. And you'll just kind of let gravity pull it down. There we go. That pie plate is super hot. I'm also going to pull the custard cup out of the middle. And then this is what your breakfast ring looks like when it's all done. Pretty amazing. And so to serve this, I'll just take a portion and it pulls apart. I don't need a knife. I can just do like this. And when you go to eat it, you can just take little pieces off to eat. And that's how we do our breakfast ring.